Hey, quick PSA here before the video starts. I just wanted to say that since making this video, which I made it actually a few weeks ago, I actually got in touch with Ryan from Modhouse, and he sent me the new MHA Xenon pads, which are the ones that they have commissioned by Dekoni specifically for the Argons here. And that does change a few things with the sound, which I'll comment on later in the video. So thanks for watching. Sorry for the little jump ins and things like that, but I wanted to make sure that you got the best picture of this headphone going forward. So enjoy the review. I'll see you again real soon. Hey everybody, MrAyrit here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a special headphone review for you today. This review will be for the t60 Argons. And, I tried the original Argons, and they were cool. They were interesting, but ultimately I didn't think that they really kind of fit me at the time. So I had a friend of the channel reach out, ask me if I wanted to try out the t60 Argons. And, of course, I wanted to, for sure. I can't say that I thought that it would fit me just because the original Argons didn't fit me super well, but these are different, and they're pretty darn good. So let's take a look at them, and we'll talk about what their merits are. So t60 Argon. So the t60 RP, right? If you are familiar with the t50s, these look pretty similar. You know what? I have a set of Dekoni blues. Let me grab those, and we can just kind of side by side them here real quick and take a look at that. Okay, so the Dekoni blues are based off of the t50 RPs, and you can see that they look pretty similar, but it's not quite the same, right? So these have a 3.5 in, and obviously these are plastic and these are wood. These are a little bit bigger. These ones don't have the suspension strap. These guys do have a suspension strap, and this one, again, these are modded by Ryan over at Modhouse. So like this is kind of like their nice, like, I don't know if it's suede or alcantara or what exactly headband, but it's very nice. And then of course these have the ZMF pads on them, which are they're awesome. I don't know exactly which pads, but you can see they've got quite an angle to them, and they're super huge and cushy. Okay, so this is where I want to jump in and talk about these pads a little bit. These are, like I said, they're specifically designed by Ryan and then made by Dekoni, and they are like more of a micro suede pad. They are still very large and super comfortable pads. Okay, very comfortable, more comfortable I think than the ZMF pads, which is quite a feat to say, right? Very similar still in style and things like that. These are a little more circular in their shape, but awesome pads, super comfy, and definitely improve the sound a bit, which I will comment on again once we get more into the sound portion of the video. Now, these guys are single-ended, and a lot of people mod them to be balanced, but they just have this little 3.5, and it just takes like a regular 3.5 coming into those, okay? Now, the T60s are a little bit different because it has a 3.5 as well, but it has a 4-pin 3.5 coming into it. So these actually are balanced, so you can use, but you don't go into both cups. So you just use this balanced cable into there, and then the cable that these came with is a 4-pin. all right, so that's a little bit different with the T60s. I mean, I appreciate that you can go balanced with them, but of course I always just prefer it if they would just do two 3.5s, and then we can just use whatever cables we want, because if you look on Amazon with the T60s, a cable like that, like they want like $100 for it, I think. So a little pricey in my mind. But it works good. It's a cool system. The one weird quirk I had with these and the cable, and again, I don't have any other cables I can test with, but through the Geshelli E2, there was like a weird kind of like hum that happened in the left channel. I didn't notice this with any other headphones with that amplifier. So it only happened with the t60 Argons. And again, I don't know if it's something to do with that cable or if it's something weird with the E2. I don't know, but that was just something to note, I guess, is what it comes down to. So a lot of similarities between the old T50s and the new T60s. But, you know, ultimately really what it comes down to is the T60s just are kind of like overall nicer, and then you throw, you know, the Modhouse stuff on there and it elevates them even more. So I think they're, you know, it's not like the most amazing build in the world, but I mean, it's good. It's solid. It's surprisingly lightweight, honestly, for what it looks like. I mean, it looks like a huge headphone, right? And when I put these guys on, like, you can see it looks like a big, huge headphone, but like, really they're pretty lightweight. So they come in at around 450 grams, like as they are here. Which, you know, it sounds like a lot, but it's really not that bad. And when they're on your head with the suspension strap and the big ZMF pads, they're quite comfortable. So, all in all, the build, I think is great. Of course, I'm a sucker for wood cups. The wood doesn't seem super tough, so you can see these ones are they're dinged up a little bit and things like that. But I mean, yeah, that's probably just because they're getting some use, because they sound really, really good. So, let's talk about the sound on these. Now, the original T50 Argons, they a lot of times, you know, people really praise them for having like a big wide soundstage and just sounding like big for a closed back headphone. And I think the T60 follows suit. I wouldn't say that they are like super, super wide, but they definitely have some soundstage. And in that soundstage, you know, the imaging, it's not an imaging master by any means, and like the separation isn't like super great. And just kind of across the board, if we're talking like technicalities with this headphone, I don't think that it really competes like at a technical level with something like the Allegias, right? And I'll be reviewing these soon, but technically these are superior. As far as like imaging, separation, just detail, extension, all that stuff, like really these guys, it's not really a competition on that front. But really where the Argons excel is just like they're a headphone where the sum of it is better than all of the individual parts, right? So, you know, everything has, I would say for the price, right? If you're thinking that like T60 was like a the T60 is like a $300 headphone, and then you're paying what, like $150 more for the Argon mods on it, you're talking about a $500 headphone. And I think at that price, like the technical ability is probably where you would expect it. I would say it's on par with something like the 17.7X Go, which has kind of been my favorite closed back up to this point. Okay, so now talking about the sound, how is it different with the Xenon pads made by Modhouse, or specifically designed by Ryan at Modhouse for these headphones? I would say that it corrects some of those things that I was kind of nitpicking before. So soundstage, a little bit wider, I would say, but mainly the imaging, I think, is where the most improvement is, in that it becomes a little less vague and it becomes more precise and just seems more linear and accurate throughout the soundstage, which is a very welcome bonus with these headphones. I also think you know, just linearity across the board is kind of improved, and I definitely prefer them with the Xenon pads here. I certainly do. Plus, I think they're more comfortable, so it's a big win all around. I would definitely recommend getting these pads moving forward, and I know Ryan was even talking about maybe only selling them with these pads because he's so confident that they are the best pads for this headphone. So if nothing else, definitely talk to him about it. He's a super cool guy. I'm sure he would walk you through like why he thinks they're the best choice. So again, thanks to Ryan for sending me these pads to try out on this headphone. But where the T60 Argons really excel is just bringing it all together in like a super cohesive, just enjoyable, easy to listen to headphone. So bass is warm, You know, it's pretty big bass. It's not super well defined, but it's adequate. Okay, it's adequate. Again, it doesn't extend, like, it's not crazy extension or anything like that, but it's enjoyable bass. And the timbre of this headphone throughout all frequencies and in the mid-range, as you know, if you've been watching the channel, I'm a very I like vocals. I listen to a lot of acoustic music, and all that stuff came across just rich and natural. You know, vocals are just full-bodied, and they just sound the way they should sound, you know? So I just thought the overall presentation is just quite enjoyable through the lows and the mids, and then the highs follow suit. Like, it's not, again, you're not getting the ultimate amount of resolution here and extension in the upper end, but what's there is just like, it sounds perfectly balanced with the rest of the frequency response of this headphone to just give it just a super enjoyable package where everything just sounds the way it should sound, and it's super easy to throw this on and just really enjoy it. And so when I was trying this headphone out, I was A/Bing this thing with the Allegias, the 17.7X Go, and the what else do I have over there? I've got the Fostex XOO Purple Hearts too on hand, right? And out of all of those headphones, these ones were by far the easiest ones just to put on, and within moments I was just into the music, enjoying myself, not really caring about, you know, particular technicalities and things like that. I was just having fun and just thinking that it sounded really good. And I know that the T50s, everybody said, you know, they need a lot of power, I think that these, like, maybe they need a lot of power. I'm not really sure, because I only had the 4-pin cable. The only 2 amps that I have on hand to try it with were my Vioelectric V280, which of course sounded amazing, and the Geshelli E2, which also sounded amazing, minus that little weird hum, which when music was coming through it wasn't really noticeable, okay? Now, as far as amping goes and things like that here too, just since I've had these a little bit longer and I've had a chance to try them on more things, I've tried them now on, you know, Fio K9 Pro, SP200. I've tried them on my Felix Audio Echo MK1. I've tried them on my capacitor modded Liquid Platinum. And they sound good on all of it, right? They do play really well with a lot of different things, including kind of tubes or hybrid tubes. They do require some power. I do think that's a definite need of these. But once you give them power, man, specifically the Liquid Platinum with that capacitor mod, these were the first headphones I listened to after doing that mod, and it was like the bass was just slamming on them. I listened to like a John Bellion track, and boy, man, the bass was just, it was slamming. Now it's still pretty well controlled, but they do have some slam when you give them some power. So I just wanted to share that little experience with you as well. So just a super enjoyable headphone. And you know, for me with a closed back, like I'm in going back and forth with these and the Allegias. I really like the Allegias too with the Dekoni sheepskin pads, which I think turn them into a little more full-bodied experience, whereas with the stock Allegia pads, it's kind of an anemic experience, even though it's super technical and like really impressive in that regard. It's just kind of hard to get into for me. I like them both, but I think if I had to pick one, I would go with these Argons, just because I've got, you know, for an open back, if I want to get super technical and get like the ultimate performance, I've got my HE1000 and I've also got an Alex that I really like and do like technical stuff really, really well. And but usually when I'm putting a closed back on, it's mostly like at nighttime when I'm just trying to block stuff out and just chill and relax. And for that, these Argons are phenomenal. Like, they are phenomenal. So I think, you know, for the price of like what you could get these for, so let's just call it $500. I think they're great. If you could get them cheaper, used or something like that, amazing. I know I've seen T60s on sale used for around like $200, and so like, well, one, I'm trying to buy these because I said they were sent to the channel by a friend, and I don't think he uses them a whole lot anymore. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll be able to buy them from him. I definitely offered to purchase them. So we'll see if that happens. If not, I will probably be looking for a set of T60s, like a good deal on a set of used T60s. And that way I could test them kind of stock, and then I'll probably try to send them over to Ryan at Modhouse to get them Argon, because these things are awesome. They're great. They really are. Super fun headphone. Very enjoyable. Easy, rich, full. Just a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And so one more jump in here when talking about the stock T60s. I did actually go ahead and buy a set of stock T60s that I got for a pretty good price. What I found was that I didn't really care for them a whole lot. I wasn't sure how much of a difference the Argon mod would make on the T60s, because I had already heard good things about just the plain old T60s. But I can tell you, it's not even a competition. I probably would not even consider getting a set of T60s unless you're going to get them, Argoned by Ryan at Modhouse. So big improvement across the board. Clarity, soundstage, punch, all of it. Just a much more fun, lively, special headphone, where I felt like the stock T60 was pretty unremarkable, honestly. And plus, you guys know I'm a sucker for wood headphones, so big cushy pads, suspension strap, wood cups. These may be the perfect close back. That's probably hyperbole, but for me, like I'm selling the 17.7X. I'll probably end up selling the Allegias once I get my hands on a set of these for myself. And yeah, that's it. I love them. If you got them, if you can get your hands on some, I think they are definitely worth it, and definitely worth looking at if you're looking for a headphone in that price range and you want to close back. Yeah, I think that's it. Great headphones. Shout out to Don for sending these out. I really appreciate that. And, let me know. Can I buy them? Because I like them. All right. Thanks, guys. As usual, like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I'll have more headphone reviews coming your way. Like I said, I've got all those other closed backs. The 17.7X review I'll link below, but then I'll have the Allegia and the XOO coming your way before too long. So hopefully I'll see you then. Take it easy. Okay, so I think that does it. Again, I'll just do a second closeout here. Thanks for allowing me to jump in here a little bit to give you some updated impressions. I do love this headphone, and I'm definitely keeping one in my collection, at least for the foreseeable future. I think they're a great value, super fun, super unique. They're something special. So thanks again to Ryan at Modhouse for working with me and sending me pads, and I can't wait to get my other set of Argons, since now I'll have two. And yeah, I'll probably be selling those at some point, so just keep an eye out for those if you're, following the channel here. And just again, thanks for all your support. I really appreciate it. Have a good one. I will see you in the next video.